Welcome to another episode of the Players Ball Podcast for AT Aliens by AT Aliens. I'm your host, Alex the Great, and I'm joined by my brother from another MB, as always. Back from the Caribbean.
Yeah,
You
man.
went to sailing. Yeah, man.
I always think of Cool Running, one of my favorite all-time money
Oh,
movies.
man. Great. I mean, if you put it in the sports movie category, it might be top five
Yeah.
for me.
But I always think of the line when they hop off the airplane for the first time uh in is it Canada or whatever, but
Calgary,
it's
Calgary.
freezing cold. He's like, Sanka, what's that you smoking? I'm not smoking. I'm
I'm
breathing.
breathing.
Ah, what a great movie.
What about the best? My favorite scene is when Junior's in the bathroom. So I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who don't take nothing for nobody. Once again, pride, power. He goes out there and starts to fight.
Yeah.
Cool runnings. Shout out Cool Runnings, man. Should have
Classic.
won an Oscar.
Now, I have not been to Jamaica. We did not go to Jamaica. That was a crazy aside, but I did spend a week cruising the ocean in the Caribbean seas. It was a good time with the fam. Much needed break from the daily grind. But we back, baby, and ready to get at it.
Did you follow any sports while you were there? You had to catch up when you got back.
I would randomly get notifications about Braves things, so I did keep up with what was going on, and then I was able to watch some of the final NBA final game 7.
Hmm.
Um, that ended up not being much of a game into the third, fourth quarter. So,
Yeah,
uh, yeah, but
it got active. Yeah.
I did keep up with it.
That's good. That's good, man. The world is smaller from a technological standpoint every day, so they say.
Yes.
Yeah, what about the wars going on, man? Did you see any of that? Like, it was a wild week that we weren't talking, man. Like a lot of stuff happened. The markets kind of crashed and then bounced back up.
Yeah. So I did. I heard about what's going on in Iran, and my parents they watched the news, in their stateroom a few times, but we had to be careful about what we talked about too much because Tilly, she's a worrier, and she doesn't like conversations about stuff like that. It just kind of
Mm,
gives her some anxiety, so we kept that to the minimum. But it is crazy what's going on in the world beyond sports. But sports is always a good reminder of something that brings us together, that brings us joy and happiness, but also pain as Atlanta fans. But even through the pain, uh, it's a good thing, right?
yeah, I don't know why we can never just have joy as a sports city. It's impossible. Um, Man, let's get into it. Let's start talking about some sports, man. Peace and blessings to the world. I hope we can all get along at some point, man. If not here, then up in heaven with the big God. So, Spaghetti Junction. Let's byways and highways and all that jazz.
We got traffic incoming covering all the biggest news in ATL sports, no matter the lane, no matter the highway. Let's get into it with Spaghetti Junction.
The Atlanta Dream. I I told you when we got started, man, that the product that is professionals women basketball is really taking off. I was talking to Theo over the weekend, and he was saying how when he used to watch, and I watched a couple of games with Toto way back in the day. You know what I'm saying, when we used to watch in our room, and it wasn't exciting basketball. It was like, yeah, the talent that they have now was not there before. It was just, it was a handful of women who were really dicing them up. But for the most part, it was just those select few. So it wasn't as desirable a product. So I told you when we started calls, what a shift it's been to go from that to me asking ChatGPT how I can invest in the NBA, the WNBA, because I see it as this growing. I mean, it's got a ton of momentum. So I told you that they are expanding the league. They're adding 3 teams. I think it's Cleveland, Detroit, and one other city. So they're going to have 18 teams here shortly. It won't be long, I think, until they're expanding the season from to more than 20 games, or they're already getting a bunch of brand deals. And I'm not going to say it's all Caitlin Clark because there's a lot of talented women in the WNBA. But as it stands, Caitlin Clark and the people that she played against in her youth, like the Paige Buckners and obviously the
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese, and then there's some more that's coming into. I think Haley Van Leith is still in college.
I don't
Did
think
she go
so.
to the league?
I'm pretty sure.
But we got Nunu, not Nunu, Juju, Juju Watkins coming out next year. It's just a bunch of heavy hitters that are about to be in the league at the same time. So I think it's going to be very exciting. I temper that a little bit, right? But it's going to be the most exciting WNBA basketball that I've ever seen. So I'm trying to get in on the ground level, man, make me some money. Obviously, we have a team here already, no expansion needed. The Atlanta Dream, and they're in fourth place. They're doing good. 15 team league, fourth place. What have you say about that?
I mean, I haven't really caught any of their games, but I have kind of. I keep up with the scores, right? Like I get notifications on when the games start, halftime scores, final scores, all that. So I have noticed the Dream has been playing rather well. I think they were at one point like number 2 or 3 in the league.
Yeah,
So it does seem like they may have fallen a little bit. Um, but I think they've had some games recently against the upper echelon of the league, the Liberty, um, that they've lost a couple games to. You let us know. They just
yes,
recently beat them,
beat
um,
them yesterday. Yeah,
but they have been playing against some of the more talented teams in the league. So a little bit of a drop off is not all that surprising or alarming, I would say. So we'll see. I mean, they went out and they spent a lot in the off season. They brought in old Brittany Griner, made a couple other moves. They've drafted well. So you know, we may have a playoff run we got to keep up with here shortly, which would be exciting. I would watch, um, if they make a run in the playoffs.
yeah. So my father-in-law, he's tapped in now. He watches, right? Ever since they got Brittany Griner, because that's a name that a lot of basketball fans know, even if you don't watch the W. And yeah, I think they're probably gonna make the playoffs. They might make a little run, and we should be in attendance. Trey Young was at the game last night. I saw that today. So they're getting love from the other sports teams. That's good, man. That kind of camaraderie is always good for the city. So go Hawks, go Dreams. We're gonna talk about them Hawks. We won't talk about them right now, but and then the WNBA expanded, man. We gonna figure out the investment play. This is not investment advice when we give it to y'all, but it's something that we gonna do. Behind them and the W, we got the Braves. Oh no,
We do have the Braves, but
we
before
do
we
have
get
the
into the
Braves.
Braves, there was
Yeah.
some news that came out on the Falcons, the Falcones.
Hmm.
They're getting ready to kick off mini camp, which we're gonna seal in a date this week on when we're gonna attend. But the news here is that George Kittle is having his annual tight end university, and there was a player that has been the subject of a lot of um I don't know the best word to use, but uh
Ire. That's what I
vitriol.
was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's Kyle Pitts. He's at this point in his career been a bust, and at the rate that it's going, I don't see that changing. But he is not in attendance. Um, my initial reaction was, "What a bum! Uh, What say you?
50 tight ends, nearly 50 tight ends will be attending. Charlie Warner, our backup tight end, our blocking tight end, will be in attendance, and Kyle Pitts won't be there.
It's a bad look.
Maybe the tight ends know something that we don't, or that we do. Honestly, I don't know. I wish him the best, right? I just don't necessarily want him on the team, and then him not being there. You saw it. I didn't. There are some noticeable names that aren't there. Travis Kelsey being one. The other one was the Lion, Sam Laporta. But pretty much everybody else is there. Um, Big Brock Bowers is there.
Greg
Everyone else.
Olson,
TJ Hawkinson, Greg, yeah, Greg Olson gonna be in attendance. He's
the
been out the
the
league for
announcer.
years. Right? So, that seems like I remember when we were watching the receiver. I was watching the receiver. Is it called wide receiver? It
Yeah,
wasn't the quarterback, but and George Kittle was just talking about the tight end position, how like it's kind of disrespected, but they had to do so much. You want a tight end representative, or you want a representative in that tight end group, and we have one. It's just not the one that you would
should be
expect.
there.
Yeah.
Ideally, they'd both be there, right? There's something that like keeps kind of coming in the back of my mind when I look at Kyle Pitts, and it's a question that was asked a lot when Vic Beasley was still here, and it's like, does he really love football? Like, I kind of get the impression that Kyle Pitts doesn't love the game of football.
He don't love getting hit. I can tell you that. Because if there's a ball and he's at risk, it is not being caught. Yeah, maybe there's. I mean, there's got to be something to that, right? And we probably will never know. Like with Adrian Griffin. One, he wasn't getting a whole lot of time. Adrian Griffin, Hawks rookie 2 years ago, 3 years ago. His second year, we had Coach Quinn. He wasn't getting no run at all, and he went on to leave to. I don't know that he became a pastor, but he pursued a spiritual mission as opposed to continuing with basketball. Is that something that Kyle Pitts like? Does he have passion somewhere else, and football is just not his number one? I mean, if that's the case, man, I want pursue what you love, right? But I can see that being maybe there's some smoke, there's some fire where there's that smoke of maybe he just doesn't love football, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not gonna blame the man or hate on the man if that is the case, and he took the opportunity to better himself financially and maybe take that into some other passion in the future. But man, as a fan of the team and the franchise and the desire to win, I hate to see the feeling of lack of effort on his part, uh, to want to get better, to want to perform, to be worthy of that number 4 overall pick. It just doesn't seem like he's got that. And I know when Vic Beasley was here, there was a lot of similar questions asked. So it's just something that I've been mulling, and I wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah, no, that's fair. The other thing, because I just pulled up on, I would say, why isn't Kyle Pitts going to tight end you? And it said that he's sitting, injured right now. They didn't say that was the reason why he's not going, but they said the reason he's not currently playing was because of undisclosed injury. The fact that we still don't know what's up with, whatever the injury is or what he might have going on is
That's definitely alarming.
da-da-da, da-da-da, more Hawks news.
Oh, good news?
Expected, not good,
Okay, we'll
not
save
bad.
it. Save it
Yeah,
for
okay, I'll save it. I'll save it. Remind me when we get to
all right.
that. Yeah, man. I don't know what to say about Kyle Pitts. Picks. Kyle Pitts.
I sure would
Wish him
like the
well. I hope he's all right.
I was gonna say I sure would like the picks back that we used on him.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's water under the bridge.
That is the biggest part, right? That one of at least. The other players that went in that draft after him, It's like imagine if we had a Jamar Chase right now.
Right. And we could use a wide receiver too.
We could use wide receiver. My man in Dallas, he went after Kyle Pitts. Defensive edge,
Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons.
I got his
I don't.
old jersey and signature behind me.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I'm gonna do it anyway. Real quick, the Kyle Pitts draft. Just a couple of the players. Oh man, I lost the link.
While you look that up, the other topic kind of already started. We wanted to talk about in Spaghetti Junction is Los Bravos. They still suck, uh,
They do.
but they did have a above average week. I would say they started off really well, sweeping the Mets, which is always good to do. We swept them. Did we sweep them at home or up in New York? I think we swept them at
Here.
home, and then we went on to play the Marlins and lost the series.
Of course we
What
did.
a travesty!
I was in
Like,
Myrtle while that series was going on, so I caught one of those games against the Marlins, and we were at this resort where you see the same people down at the pool and the beach every day. Like that's the thing that you're there to do. And this older, I guess he was probably a granddad. Me and him talked basically every morning about the Braves. Like, man, they look like there's something, and and because they had just beat the Mets the day we got down there. It was my first time talking to him, and then the next day they lost to the Marlins. He's like, "Oh, did you see what happened last night?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I did. I don't know what to say." That is this season.
so they followed up that Marlins season or series, splitting uh 2 games and 2 games with the Mets at home. No, that was up in
That
New
was in
York.
New York.
Yeah, up
Yeah,
in New York. And then they came home and lost the series to the Phillies 2-1. So
one
oh
of those games was crazy. It was like 13-1.
yeah, and that one there was a bunch of weather. It was a wild game. I think that was Friday night. Um
That was Elder, too,
it was
who's
Bryce
been
Elder,
performing really, really well up until that game.
but there was crazy weather that night. Hail rained down on Atlanta, like several dozen planes at the Atlanta airport. Delta planes got grounded for hail damage. They shut down the air traffic control tower. They lost power. Like I saw pictures or video clips from Truist Park from that night, and I don't even know why they played the game. To be honest,
I didn't see any of I know about the weather delays. It was rough. I didn't see any of this stuff at Truist, though. The
uh,
weather has been nuts this summer. Like we've had a thunderstorm at least 2, 3 times a week, and I'm talking about bad, like trees. I'm looking out at the trees, everybody. I'm not just zoning off into space. The trees just start to waver in the wind, and then they start to actually bend. They're not moving right now, but it is dark already.
yeah,
I wouldn't imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a storm coming in because that's just been the trend.
it has. It's been
Uh,
pretty much afternoon showers every day.
did you see they tried to make a thing about Ronnie's Burrow Selly?
No.
So they tried to make it a big news that he threw a grenade into the crowd when he hit the home run up there in New York. It didn't last very long just because it's an awesome celebration. I guess nobody cared. I think that was one of the games that we won. He hit a home run and
He's hit a
threw the
lot of
bomb,
those.
and they tried to make that a thing. Like, oh, he's bombing the city. Like, who said it? And I think the one of the catch lines in the article was like, who said it was a grenade? You're forcing it to be a grenade. Like, no, it's clearly a grenade. And he threw it into the crowd. I don't think he means to kill anybody, right? He just hit a bomb, and he's symbolizing that with a bomb, an
Yeah.
explosive device.
So I told you before we started us I had seen earlier this week, maybe yesterday, some extrapolated stats. So if you were to take Ronnie's current stats and project them out over the remaining games where he would end up at the end of the season, and it is absolutely wild. So I'm going to read them out for you real quick.
All right.
231 hits, 81 extra base hits, 52 home runs, 180 runs scored, and 92 RBIs, a 361 average, a 479 on base percentage, and a 1,110 OPS.
After missing 2 months of the
After
season.
missing 2 months of the season, he's still on pace to hit 52 home runs. Now, baseball is a game of streaks, and typically players don't stay hot that whole time. But what he has
Right.
done in his return has been nothing short of spectacular, and has earned himself a potential spot in this upcoming All-Star game.
Yeah, yeah. Close to spectacular. You remember that skit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nah, he's been crazy since he got back. Oh, dog, did I send you the video? It's basically him talking about his first at bat and how he knew he had told like his parents and his brother and a couple of his teammates. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna hit a home run on my first at bat back
Mm.
in the league." And it starts and it's gray tone. What is it? Black and
Grayscale?
white.
Yeah, black and white.
Great. It is grayscale. He's talking about it for like a minute and a half, and when he finally hits the ball, everything just pops into color. We gotta tag that. The Braves did a fantastic job with that. He's sitting there talking in English. I was like, yo, this is dope. That was good marketing. It reminded me of the you sent me the video of Chicks Dig the Long Ball with
The
Greg Maddox and Tom Glavine.
the old 90s commercial. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one was less commercial, but just as dope just to be a part of for my club to have it's like a piece of art. It's
Yeah.
gonna live, that's gonna live for a while. I had to send you that.
I still get chills when I think back to that night when, I mean, he blasted that thing like 460 feet, and you see him get into the dugout and sit down and lean back and just sigh this giant sigh of relief, and he like looks up, and I said it before, it's like all the weight, all the hard work, all that stress and pressure just released from his body. uh and yeah, it was a chilling thing to witness, and I'm happy for him because it's a
That's
hard
in the video too.
thing to
Him
come
just kind
back
of
from.
sitting there like, yeah.
Yeah,
You had described it, and I just seeing it and you saying it again. I was like, oh yeah, no, no, that was deep.
yeah. So much love to Ronnie. He was the first player to announce his participation in the home run derby.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that? I know it's like one of those controversial topics. Either love it or hate it. How do you feel about it?
Having an all-star game here, I want representation as far as the eye can see. We need Atlanta Braves jerseys on the field during All-Star weekend. Um, and in all honesty, we might not, if it wasn't for Ronnie, we might not have any representatives. Chris Sale was dealing, but now he's hurt, so he won't be doing it. So yeah, nah, I'm for it. If it was somewhere else, maybe I'd feel differently because they say that the home run derby ruins your swing for the rest of the season. But
I will say, in past home run derbies that Ronnie has participated in, he doesn't seem to modify his swing. Like some players go out there and they swing for home runs, right? Like they're taking batting practice. They swing differently, and I could see how that could screw you up. But in past home run derbies that Ronnie has competed in, he has been just Ronnie, spreading the ball all over the field, and I think that's kind of hurt him in the long run in terms of trying to win the thing. Uh, but I'd much rather him go out and swing naturally than to just try to hit a bunch of dingers
he's got a lot of
unnaturally.
pop naturally,
Yeah, for sure. To all parts of the park, which is one of
right?
the things that makes him so special.
Right. And then I hate to be a naysayer. I don't see us winning no other trophies. Maybe he can bring one home for the city.
Yeah. I don't know if it was real or fake news, but I thought I saw where Bryce Elder was going to be the one uh, throwing BP to him.
He's gonna hit 102 home runs
I think
in an
that's
inning.
that is why I don't know if it was fake news or not, because it
If
makes
that's a good joke. If it's not,
yeah. But anyways, yeah, Braves still grinding. Trade deadline's coming up. All Star game will be here soon. One thing that I want to check out, I hope you'll join me, is the All Star Village is going to be going from July 12th through the, I think it's the 15th. So
Mm,
we got to get out there, shoot some content, check out the All Star festivities. Should be a good
absolutely.
time.
Yeah. I went to so the last time the All Star game was here, down at the TED. I was down there for um maybe it was just it wasn't a home run derby, but there was another event
That was like
beforehand.
2002.
Yeah, I still got my tickets. I got the
Oh,
memorabilia and everything.
nice.
Um, so nah, I'm definitely gonna be there. And now we're sports podcaster, so it's a must. One quick anecdote on the my most recent Braves game. I went and got the Usher bobblehead. Yeah, yeah. Um, and bobblehead culture. I didn't. So it. I've seen them before at Braves games when I go to get a bobblehead, but this time, man, it was nuts, right? So we're walking around, and me and Brittany both had tickets, so we got two of the ushers. And this dude walks by, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He didn't stop me. I stopped him because I saw he had the Luda in the bag. I said, "Oh man, where you get Luda from?" He's like, I brought it with me. You want to trade?" I said, "Do I want to trade? Hell yeah, man. I
Nice.
need to open it. It need to be in there." But so we're walking out, man, and they have all the like I see him again, and this time I think he's with his pops and another person. They have like these stacks of bobbleheads that they're just trying to trade to get as many ushers as they can. They did not have any outcasts, or I'm in the building, right? But now I gotta have that one. I got Usher, Luda. I
Yeah,
gotta have Outcast. So
you gotta complete the trifecta. I was just gonna say that before you brought it up. You gotta get that
yeah, I
outcast.
gotta get that Outcast bobblehead now, man. But bobblehead culture in the is real. Like we were walking in, people were just leaving. They got their bobbleheads. Seen a guy walk out with like five bobbleheads. Walking to his car as we're walking up, and we were like an hour and a half early.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to Hootie Who, another anecdote just about bobbleheads specifically. So we flew into Miami the same day the Braves flew into Miami to start that series. Um,
Mm,
but at Lone Depot Park, their claim to fame because the Marlins suck. There's nothing else to be good. But they have a
yeah.
bobblehead museum.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah, which I hear is pretty cool to check out.
I've been to their stadium. Um, we went we went to a game last time I was in Miami. I went to a Marlins game, just something to do, and it wasn't bobbleheads, but they were handing out memorabilia. They had Tarvis. Tarvis, is that right? Turvis,
The
the
Tervis tumblers.
tumblers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they were handing out tumblers. So I got a tumbler with the but it's a Marlins tumbler, so I don't even know where it is. They also have a pool and a club in the outfield, which was pretty dope. They were having a beer fest that day, but we didn't know that until we got there and they were sold out. So we went to the
Oh,
game and had our own beer fest.
that's cool.
Yeah, man. All right. We do have some good news, right? We were saying that we always have something to love, something to hate about Atlanta sports. That's most of the hate. Shout out to Dream. That was good news. But the Hawks. Hootie hoo.
From the gridiron to the hardwood, you know you got to keep your eyes on the birds. Let's talk Hawks. Let's talk Falcons. This is Hootie Hoo.
What you gonna do? The Hawks are ripping and running, running and ripping. there's a lot going on with them. So earlier in the pod, I said a
Da-na-na.
da-da-da, da-da-da, Clint Capella is finally gone. He signed with the Houston Rockets,
3-year
which is
deal.
actually a really good fit for them. I feel like they can use that because Alperen Sengun, he is a dog. He's really good, but I don't think he's a defensive guy. He might not be bad at defense, but having Clint Capella there, even if he's coming off the bench, is good. Houston looks like they're gonna be real good, man. You got Durant, you got Clint Capella. Now you get Reed. Reed Shepard gets to have some runs since they got the young fella out of there. I can't think of his name right now, but who they sent to Phoenix for KD. So Clint Capella's gone, but we talking about the Hawks. We draft Asa Newell, who, if I do deem myself sports Stradamus, I'm gonna say this is just another one. It's really the podcast as a whole. Like, cause you've had some amazing calls, I've had some amazing calls. This most recent one, I was like, hey, look, we need to draft Asa Newell, but they went up a level on that. They got my guy, and then they fleeced the Pelicans
Absolutely.
out of an unprotected pick swap first round. They're not. They're gonna be trash.
They're it's
Pelicans aren't gonna be good in the
it
West.
might be a top 5 pick.
It might. Milwaukee. If Giannis plays, they'll probably make the playoffs. But if he's traded, Dame is gone. That's gonna be a good pick too. We get
Uh
the best of whoever has it.
so there's also another breaking story with the Hawks like 4 minutes ago.
What?
Signing Nickel Alexander Walker
They
to a
signed him.
4-year, $62 million deal.
Oh man, that's a friendly deal for him too, because he's good. He was one of the better defenders on the Grizzlies, not Grizzlies, the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves, yeah, he was on Timberwolves.
Yeah, so it said that I had that as a show note, right? In the market for Nickel Alexander Walker. I guess it was just down to us in Detroit, so they've signed him. We traded for Porzingis and got rid of some salary, right? He earns a big check. They signed him for big money, so we needed to move some money around. So we got rid of George Niang and Terrence Mann to get him. Light work. I mean, I'm still kind of mad on the deal just because of his injury history, but it's a move, and they look like they're trying to do something, man. It also says we're in the running for Miles Turner. He's an unrestricted free agent, so Hawks trying to do something, man.
Oh yeah, man, they on the come. The Porzingis deal I like because it is big money, but he's on the last year of his contract, so if it doesn't work out, it's not like you're tied to him long term.
You can walk,
And
yeah,
I mean, you did give up some seventh and sixth men for him, but the upside is
yeah, massive
super
upside,
high. Yeah, defensive player of the
yeah,
year type upside. Um, yeah, man, we've needed a true big. I've harped on it for years. Um, this podcast is only
yeah.
a year and a half old, but in its entirety, I've harped on the need of the big man, and even before the podcast, I was harping on the need for a big man. So I'm liking what Ansa is doing, and
Yeah,
I know you were kind of you know feeling a little sour about the choice to move on
from Landry,
from
yeah.
Landry, but I mean, I'm riding high.
Hey, maybe Anso was making the deals in the background anyway. He was with the organization, right? So who knows, man? Best wishes to you, Landry, but I ain't mad at it no more. I'm off that train,
Yeah.
um, especially the way he got that first round pick because there's a lot of good players that's gonna be coming out, like NBA royalty, right? You got Melo's son is a top player in the country. Gilbert Arenas' son, top player in the country. The Boozer twins, all of them will be freshmen. They'll be done with their freshman year by the time we're drafting next year. So
I also read there's a international player that's like they believe is a generational talent coming out next year too. I forget his name. We'll have to do some research, but the Pelicans are likely going to be absolute trash. They will be
Yeah,
in the running for a lottery pick for sure. I know nowadays it's a little different, right? Like the odds aren't the same. Like you can't just tank for the number one overall pick. Um, it's rigged, as we found out with the Mavs this year.
yeah,
But the fact that we got an unprotected first round pick from a team that's likely going to be a bottom dweller is absolute thievery. Uh, Not to mention, we got a guy that's should be a serviceable player soon. Uh, just about Asa Newell specifically, he grew up in Athens. Uh, until the age 10, they moved to Florida, and then he ended up attending high school, two schools in Florida, finished at Montverde Academy, which is a basketball powerhouse. Uh, bef-
yeah.
Before returning to Athens to play for the Georgia Bulldogs, and he was a spectacular player for us this year. Helped us reach the NCAA tournament for the first time in 15 years. So we're happy, we're proud to have him stay in the A, and I think he'll be a good addition to this team.
For two franchises that never draft Bulldogs, man, they definitely got the year right to do it. Because I think Asa Newell is going to be crazy with Trey Young. Like he is a player that they drafted for Trey Young. He's a lob threat. He's just super athletic. He's learning is to shoot the three ball. Do you know the last Bulldog drafted in the first round by the Hawks
It
or
has to
him?
be the one and only
Yeah.
highlight reel Dominique Wilkins.
So the next Dominique has entered the building. No, not quite, but it's good, man. I'm happy about him. I'm happy about Jalen Walker. You gotta shop locally, right? Everything can't be a foreign, like not in the sense of like a foreign player, like a foreign car, right? Like, man, sometimes you need to be built for tough, right?
Yeah.
You got Athens in your backyard. You need to dip into that pool at least every so often. So it was good that they did that. Um,
Little lesser known move that I don't know how much of an impact it's going to make, but I think it's a unique one, and could have some high upside to it. But they went out and signed Kobe Johnson, who is the younger brother
mm,
of Jalen Johnson. Uh, I think that would be neat having the brother duo, brother tandem, um, playing together. Maybe have
yeah,
a little bit of that family chemistry. So we'll see. I mean, it is. He was an undrafted free agent, so he's not guaranteed a contract. Um, it could just be a tryout. It could be a direct to the G League. Most likely, if he sticks around, it will be for the College Park Skyhawks. But still having him around with the potential of maybe seeing him down the road, I think is cool.
yeah. No, I do too. I do too. Keaton Wallace. I think he made the team based off of his play in the summer league. We talked about him last year, so if he can ball out in the summer league, maybe he can get on that bench, man. Um, Honestly, I still got problems with Quinn Snyder. I'm still not a huge fan of his rotations or the way he's operating as a coach. Maybe it was Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell that gave him all the success that he had because I ain't seen it, right? But I'm optimistic about the direction of the franchise with the pieces that we added on. Anything less than a playoff berth, like a bona fide playoff berth, not a play-in playoff berth, none of the 7-8 stuff. I think he should be on the hot seat.
I was gonna
Man, I
ask
feel like
you
I'm always firing folks, right?
constantly. You already canned Brian Snicker.
Oh yeah, still let him go, man. Let him go. He gotta go.
Um, I was gonna ask you as you were going down that train if we fall short of expectations, is it an automatic fire for Quinn Snyder for you? I think that's a fair, um, you know, a a fair thing to hold him to that kind of standard, right? Like you're going out, you're making changes, your big changes, pieces, much needed pieces that you haven't really done in the previous couple off seasons, right? Like you swung and you missed hard on DeJounte Murray, but beyond that, like you haven't made big changes. Now,
Yeah,
Dyson Daniels was huge for us, right? But that I don't think what he meant to this team was really what they were anticipating, right? Like I think that was a bonus on top. Like he was going to
yeah,
be a everyday player, he's going to be a role player, but I don't think they expected him to be, the great barrier thief, number
yeah.
2 option to Trey, right? Like
In the running for defensive player of the year. And I
right.
think
He
he vastly outperformed,
exceeded
yeah, their
expectations.
expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Um, and to the injuries, right? That's the thing. Trey losing Jalen Johnson last year. The last year, the thing was addition by subtraction, with the exception of Dyson Daniels. But Jalen Johnson was having a year. We were still kind of, lower end of the middle of the pack. Feels like the things that they've done this year should have us in the middle of the pack. And if injuries don't play a role, which they do, yeah, I think Quinn's on the hot seat. The East is wide open. That's why I feel like they're going for it, right? You have a Bucks team that may be without Giannis. We have an opinion on that that agrees with one another that he'll probably be around there. But you have a Boston team who's dismantling itself. Traded Drew Holiday, traded Porzingis. They say that they might be shopping. They're hearing calls at least on Jalen Brown. You have the Pacers who just lost Tyrese Halliburton for likely the full year.
no, for
And
sure the full year, right? Like
yeah,
that's the same reason why the Celtics are shopping all their big contracts is they want to get below that second threshold or probably
yeah.
even the first apron because they're going to be without Jason Tatum for the entirety of the year as he recovers from his Achilles. So,
I don't think Indiana's as far above the luxury tax line as
no,
Boston
not at
was.
all, but they're not going to be nearly the team that they've been the last 2 years without Halliburton, right? Um And then beyond that, like the Cavs and the Magic.
With the Cavs, the Magic's gonna be tough. They're going for it too. If they add any more pieces, man, they'll probably be in the running. The Knicks will be back. It looks like they're going to potentially hire Mike Brown as their coach, and he was running a great teams organization before they fired him and then flamed out. So that would, the Knicks will be there, the Cavs will be there, Orlando. I think Detroit was legit. Um, so we'll see if they can stick around, but the Hawks should be right in that mix. We're better. We should be better than everyone else, especially considering the moves that we made.
Yeah, I saw some crazy proposed trades out there that had the Hawks bringing in Colin Sexton. If anything like that were to actually transpire, that would greatly diminish the Cavs. Um, I mean,
He did get traded.
to who?
Yeah, he went to Charlotte
Oh, okay.
for Yusuf Nurkic. So that was probably, the speculation was justified. They were looking to move him. We just weren't the ones to get him. I mean, I'm not interested in Colin Sexton. If I can keep it a buck.
Yeah, but yeah, good
He's
things.
from here though, huh? I didn't know that. He's from Marietta.
Good things for the Hawks. Excited to see how this plays out. Still a long ways to go until the season kicks off. So
We said in an earlier episode, maybe a month ago, like how I had heard Sham Shamaria. So, I know I butchered his last name, but Shams. I had heard him say that this is probably going to be the biggest off season we've seen in a while, and it is definitely shaking up to be that for sure.
yeah,
So yeah, it's an exciting time for basketball. Basketball is in a good place, and it looks like the Hawks are joining that good place that basketball is in.
Yeah, they definitely needed some momentum because I know the league had been down viewership wise over the
Yeah.
last couple years, and they really, I think, had a good playoff run, and the momentum is on the upward side. So hopefully they can carry it.
Yeah, yeah, no, hopefully, like, the regular season should be as exciting if they allow the referees to, and maybe they shouldn't, right? Especially if they wanna keep the best players available for the playoffs, but you gotta have a consistent product, man. Make me tune in. That the playoffs made me tune in. There was just some good basketball. Now Imma watch the Hawks either way, and now Imma watch them even more just because I like what they're doing. I like where they're going, and I'm happy that they're finally seems like they're shooting their shot. If we ended up signing Miles Turner, man, that's like, all right, we're trying to win it.
Oh yeah, that would be the cherry on top for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see where it goes, man. We will see where it goes. I'm excited, like you. All right. We got a last segment, Elevators.
From the parking garage to the penthouse, no one takes you on more highs and lows than Atlanta sports. Let's me, you, your mama, and your cousin too get on this elevator. Don't touch the button. We got you locked in.
Oh, reverb. No, it's just fine. I did hear a little bit. You got your highs and lows of the week, man.
Yeah, my high. We were just talking about them, the Atlanta Hawks, kind of going all in, if you will. Going out and getting Kristaps Porzingis, drafting Ace Newell. I always love seeing them Georgia Bulldogs stay home, and I
Hmm.
think the big piece that still is yet to fall, uh, and that's what we do with Trey long term, right? Because he's in a contract year. I'm hoping they're building this, you know, team around him as an incentive for him to want to re-sign. So the Hawks in general and their momentum in this offseason through the draft, absolutely fleecing the Pelicans, giving us something to look forward to. Heck, even a trade piece, right? Like, who wouldn't want a unprotected first round draft pick next year from the Pelicans? Um, all of that happening in the span of 7 days. That's easily my high, without a doubt.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. That is definitely my high. It's also my low.
Mm.
Not because of anything that they did, but I told you we when we were talking before we started, the media coverage of that trade, right, is literally them torching, and this could be, my bias showing, but it's just them torching the Pelicans and not saying like, "Oof, the Hawks killed them with that." It's the Pelicans are the dumbest. They made the dumbest trade that we've ever seen, dumbest draft day trade we've ever seen. It's like, come on, man, give some credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I
Put some
mean,
respect on that name. It should be positive Hawks coverage, but it's negative Pelicans coverage.
I think we've talked about it before, like the media and negativity and like all the nonsense we see, is because the negative stuff tends to generate more clicks. The negative headlines generate more clicks than the positive ones. But I will say, like, what I've seen have at least highlighted, maybe not in the title of the article, but at least in the body of the article, giving props to Salah for the move.
Okay. You've seen it, then I believe it. If anyone else were to tell me, I'll be like, nah, you're lying. So then I guess it would have to be Atlanta United. They're just trash.
Oh, they're so bad.
Yeah, I don't see anything happening for them.
I had a thought just thinking about them the other night. Like, I wonder if it's just like a chemistry thing and if it will take a year, right? They went out and they signed two big pieces, Almiron and Lottie Loth. They hired a new head coach in the offseason. Like, part of me wonders if they just need the time to gel, to figure it out. But I
Because
also,
was it Tata? There was a coach that came in. His first year was bad. His second year was a lot better. we made the playoffs. I don't think we made that much of a run, but
No, I mean Tata, his first year, it was the start of
the
the
so is that
franchise,
the
and
next
they
coach
did
then.
pretty well. They went to the playoffs. I think they were knocked out in the first round, and then they of course won it the following year. Um, yeah, I don't know specifically who you're thinking of, uh,
Frank DeBoer.
Frank DeBoer, but pretty sure we went to the playoffs his first season. Um, because we won the Championes Cup or whatever. We won a couple cups under Frank DeBoer, even though we underachieved. Um,
That is who I was thinking of. I might
mhm.
have my story a little bit backwards. Not backwards in the sense that it's wrong. Just maybe it was a shorter time frame. Like maybe they started really bad in the season, and he ended up getting them, whipping them into shape.
They definitely underachieved the expectations under Frank DeBoer with the team that we had. Um, so I think it's fair. But to go back to what I was saying before, like I wonder, do we give them a 12-month grace period? It's not quite 12 months, but like a season grace period, or do we just say it's time to pivot and go a different direction? Part of me is like, bring back Rob Valentino because I mean he pulled off the biggest upset in the MLS playoff history, taking out uh, Inter Miami last season, and you know we've always done decently well under him as interim. So
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know, it's one of those things where you said, how long should we give it for soccer, since it's more on the tertiary level of my fanhood. I'm a fan, but it doesn't sit there with the big three. I know tertiary is third, but it's not secondary. I guess it'd be secondary because there's the dream is probably tertiary as far as my fanhood. But if we have other good things going, I can just kind of put my head down and wait for him to be good again.
mm,
And that's not great, but that's kind of where I am with the United because I can, I still go to a game. I've been to a game this year. We had a blast. They got whipped. Right? It's just a good time down there. Um, I don't hold them to the higher standards that I do. Like my level of disappointment in them will never match that of the Falcons or the Braves or the Hawks.
yeah, I think my level of disappointment um, stems from this idea that all right, so we were a um, an expansion team. We came out the gates pretty hot. The city was on fire. We won a MLS Cup in our second year, and we have slowly but surely let all of that momentum just completely diminish and evaporate. And the city of Atlanta, right or wrong, has a very bad reputation of fair weather fans, or at least that's what
Hmm.
the national media wants to tell you, the worst fan base in all of sports. But the reality is, and I've said it many times, like we just won't continue to pay for a crap product, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to see a team that had so much fire, so much potential. You know, soccer in general in Georgia is huge. I don't know if you know this, but Dalton High School is one of the top soccer schools in the country.
I did not know
Um,
that.
and so with the Hispanic population that we have here, soccer is absolutely enormous. We're going to have a World Cup here next year, right? Like there's all of these positive things around the sport, and to see our club just kind of squander and not produce and not be the powerhouse that I want them to be hurts.
Hmm.
Like
I can feel that.
I want them to be the Inter Miami, like the absolute, juggernaut, because the city deserves it. The city has the support. if they can just get their stuff together in the front office.
So you mentioned how it's just kind of been a downward spiral. So 2017 is our first year in the league. This is how it goes per year until now. Fourth, second, third. That's a hell of a start. All right. 21st, ninth, doing a little better. 22nd, ninth, 20th, and now we're 14th. Um, the other trend there is that Joseph Martinez is our leading goal scorer for 5 out of the 9 years we've been in existence. He hasn't been here for two. The number of goals this man was putting up 19, 31, 27, and then 12 and 9. Yakamakis did 17 3 years ago. Last year, our top goal scorer was Saba. He only kicked in 9 goals.
Yeah.
Hmm. They are squandering it, man. Fumbling the bag because the audience is here. The fanhood is here. You got to put a good product on the field. I 100% agree with
So for me, my low is the other bag that we fumbled this year, and that's the Braves, but specifically just losing a series to the Marlins. Like that's deplorable.
you. Yeah.
So that is my low. You know, riding the high of a sweep against the Marlin or the Mets. Your one of your heated uh conference foes, and then you turn around and you just can't build on that momentum, and you drop 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. It's just unexcusable.
Yeah, man. I was looking to see because I know we had some battles with the Rockies this year. We've split with them. One, two. Now we've won 4 of the 6, but that's still not good.
Yeah.
The Marlins is worse because they're a division rival. You gotta mop them when you get a chance. I'm gonna ask you a question. There was a segment on our favorite radio station. Mike Bell was talking about the Braves and how we're just like we lack the passion of other cities as far as fans. And I agree. I think we talked about this a little bit. Did we talk about this? Where he said no, because we went to the game after that. He made the point that he would take the Marlins 2 championships over all those division wins. I was like, yeah, I would.
I agree with that statement. Like, of course, I would take championships over um, the consistency. However, I disagree with the statement that the city lacks passion because, I mean, you're talking about America's team.
Nah,
Brave,
the city it does lack passion, man.
the Braves country is enormous, and I think it well extends beyond the city of Atlanta. So when evaluating the Braves fan base, you have to look at the whole, the
You
sum of
do.
its parts.
The volume isn't the issue. I think the passion is what he's getting at. Like allowing for the mediocre. There was, I think I was the only one calling for hit me and Mike. We're the only one calling for Snit's job. Only one who thinks the A is on the hot seat. Everybody's kind of living in the yesteryear with the Braves, and I want us to still be good now. There was a segment when I was at this last Braves game where it was the hug cam, right? Braves fans, husband and wives, best friends. The last people they show is a Mets fan and a Braves fan, and they hugged. Absolutely gross. I don't know who's responsible for that. That is the sentiment that he talked about, man. That's exactly what he was talking about. Why? What? I don't want to blow it out of proportion. I was appalled. I said, "What the f? F are they doing? Why would that be something that would be in the media's mind to do? This is
Yeah.
a division rival. You're gonna show a Mets fan and a Braves fan. You're gonna have them hug
Mm.
for what? So that to me put the icing on the cake of
Um,
what Mike was talking about.
yeah, I definitely have never seen that. When I was at the game, they had like the filter on the cam, like the cry face filter
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
smile filter, and it'd be on Braves fans, and they'd be happy and smiling, and it'd be on. I went to a Red Sox game, so they put it on Boston fan, and it'd be the cry. Yeah, which is
the super
hilarious.
ugly
Yeah,
face.
yeah. um, so yeah, that's wild. I mean, I definitely believe you that it happened, and I don't know what they were thinking, but I still have a hard time saying that the city or the fans lack passion.
I tweeted
I don't want to
Mike
be
Bell. Go
I
ahead.
don't want to be the Phillies, right? Like I don't want to be a deplorable fan base that will do physical harm to their opposition if they come into their stadium to root for their team. Like,
I don't want to be the Phillies either, but I don't want to be the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it feels like we're going. Like they're Cowboy fans think every year is their year, and they're reminiscing, and they're not mad. They're not calling for Jerry to sell the team, right? To maybe hire an actual GM because they're content because of Emmett and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, right? I don't want to be that. I want to continue to win.
and maybe I'm sitting with rose colored glasses on in my assessment, but I don't think our fans are doing that. And maybe that's my own personal feelings, throwing some bias in there because I absolutely am critical of this franchise and its lack of um, production over the last couple of seasons. And
Yeah,
I'm the first one to say Liberty Media needs to sell the freaking Braves. That they care more about being a real estate developing company than a MLB franchise ownership, right? Like it's unacceptable. Um, and I'm not going to sit here and rest on the past success of this franchise, right? Like that's just not it. Um,
yeah. I just think, yeah. I mean, well, I think our last episode it was slightly different, but I put you into that that group
yeah, I
that
mean,
not like passionate, loyal fan, but just not angry enough. You know
I,
what I mean?
I think our like you and my division specifically on the Braves this season is around revolves around Brian Snicker. And the only reason why I feel the way I do is because I expect him to retire at the end of the year. I do not want him
Yeah.
to be our manager going into next season. And I just have a little bit more respect for the man for his years of service and say, all right, this season is probably not going anywhere anyways. Just let the guy finish it out and then we'll hire someone and fire him after he loses his first series. um,
Which
because
is what we'll do, right? They gotta do better than that, man.
I say that in jest because I feel like anytime, whether it's the Falcons, the Hawks, the Braves, the minute we lose like 2 or 3 games, Mike Bell wants to fire everybody.
With his more recent assessments, I'm right there with him.
I appreciate the passion. I
Pink
appreciate
slip. Blah!
I appreciate his eagerness and urgency to win. Like I want that too. I just think it's hilarious. Like he is ready to pull the rug at any moment. Oh, he didn't substitute him when he should have. Pull the rug. Get him out of
Nah, I
here.
think who was it? Arthur Smith, man. I wanted Arthur gone. Mike wanted him gone too. That's
Oh,
when we
me
really
too.
got on the same accord, man.
Yeah.
Throw them pink slips out there. We gotta stop accepting the mediocre.
Yeah,
And no
for
other
sure.
team does that. No other team here, right? They say Trey Young got the coach fired, but the coach had a hand in that. We had like four different coaches in Atlanta in the last 6 years, 7 years because they did not meet the expectations that were set.
Yeah.
The Braves don't abide by that.
I've said it before. I know there is a delicate balance. Like you need some stability, right? Like you can't just fire everybody and expect to get better instantly,
Hmm.
right? Like if you have no stability, how do you grow? But I'm also like, there's a
United did it
there's yeah, and they haven't gotten any better.
because they won't give that man the job. Every time they fire a coach, they take off
Yeah, but
to the playoffs. We go.
that's a different that's a different argument.
No,
It
I
is.
think it's the same.
No. The fact is every time they fire someone, they hire someone new, we haven't gotten any better. We've actually digressed. We've gotten worse. And part of it is lack of stability. They should have kept stability and kept the good thing rolling with Rob Valentino.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, they should have, but that's to my point of uh, you can't just hire someone new every 6 months and expect to be better.
I'm saying in that example, they fired the guy that they hired because he was not performing at the level that was expected of him, and they got better for a short period until they hired a new person.
They didn't really
But
hire
if they
the
would have just stayed, no, they hired a new coach, a manager. He was interim. They didn't hire him. I'm saying when they fired the guy who was responsible largely, they then had success. We could maybe tickle that plan a little bit with the Braves right now and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, there typically is a little bit of a bump in performance if you fire someone, just because there's a change and the morale tends to change. But I think in the long run, if you're hiring a coach every season or every 2 seasons, like you're not going to get the outcomes that you want.
No, you obviously want to have a long-term coach, but if a long-term coach is no longer returning the value that you hired him for, you fire him and you try to find somebody
Absolutely, but I think that goes to the argument that you were making with Quinn Snyder because you need to have a fair evaluation on what were the root causes of the lack of success. And if the lack of success is not due to the coach, but due to the fact that you had injuries or you didn't sign anybody good, right? Like if you didn't put the roster together, but you fire the coach and expect to see a different result, like that's insanity.
No, we've called Brian Snicker out on a number of things that he's done wrong this year. It's not because of
I
their
wasn't.
record, right?
Yeah. I wasn't speaking on Brian Snickers specifically. I
Oh,
was
okay, okay.
speaking in generalities, right? Because we have had teams, the Hawks, where they fire coaches, but they don't make any roster moves, and we don't get any better because, in general, I think the roster was a large reason that we weren't performing.
The biggest, generally, and any team. I think that's gonna be it's the hardest. It's probably most expensive. Maybe not hardest, but the most expensive thing to correct, right? So you can take cracks at it by firing a coach. That's generally not the primary root cause. I would agree that the roster is there. Speaking of rosters, man, we can probably start to wrap on this note. AA has been quiet. He hasn't done anything. Should we be buying no the state of the team as it is right now? Should we be buying or selling
Who you
at the trade
selling?
deadline? Marcelo Zuna.
I'd be
Um,
okay with selling him. The problem I have, so the pieces we have that we could probably sell. You mentioned one. The other, I'm a big fan of. So my own personal bias says don't do it. Austin Riley,
Austin Riley. Yeah.
um, Michael Harris, maybe is sellable. I'm a fan of him personally, but his production has been abysmal this year. Um, he actually was not chosen to start the other night for the first time this year, which I think by and large people were calling for him to sit for weeks. Uh, But yeah, I don't know. It depends on who you sell. I don't want to sell Ronnie. I don't want to sell Austin Riley. I don't want to sell Drake Baldwin or Blake
Then
Baldwin.
are you buying? Are you trying to make a push?
So I think there's multiple ways to look at it, right? Like you can buy to try to improve your outcome for this year, but also buy to set yourself up for success for the future. If you look before our 2021 World Series run, we made a couple of roster moves for players in the bullpen that ended up being massive contributors on that 2021 bullpen run. So I do
At the
think,
night shift.
yeah. So like I do think that um, we should be looking forward, and that should entail shaking up this roster. But I still think we want to keep the core together, right? Like,
Okay, last question. Are you content with standing pat?
absolutely not.
Okay, there we go. I think he's got to do something. Either you're selling or you're buying, but you're doing something.
Yeah, we're currently 8 games out of the wild card. 8 games in baseball. It's not a lot. I mean it is, but it isn't, right?
Stranger things have happened. Yeah.
I mean we came back from being down, I think 11 a couple years ago.
hmm
Um,
A year 21, we were down big games at the halfway mark. We were under 500.
so I'm a buyer. To answer your question, I'm a buyer.
I'm a buyer. I want to buy. Let's see what we can do. With that caveat that you mentioned, because we talked about that before. I don't want rent. I don't want to rent. I want to
No,
buy.
and I think that's probably what has kept anything from happening thus far. Because I don't think AA wants rentals either. Because a rental says that we're winning the World Series this year. I think that's an unrealistic outlook, and the idea of a rental, we're winning the World Series this year, is we need this piece to get over that hump to make that World Series run. We're not looking at that. We're looking at long term roster management, getting a guy that's got 2 to 3 years worth of control that is going to propel us into what we want to achieve next year, as well as maybe provide the spark that we need to have a lengthened season this year.
At Freddie's age, would you bring him home if a deal
Hell
appeared?
yeah.
Yeah, I would too. I don't even know why that popped in, but I was like, man, what if we could get Freddie back?
It's not
But you would have
happening.
to be a big buyer, right? They get Matt Olson and Drake Baldwin or something like that.
Yeah, no, there is no way the Dodgers would sell Freddie Freeman.
Mm, you know, stranger things have happened. Luka Doncic got traded.
It's a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, no, there haven't been many trades like that at all.
So, but
All right.
we are we have eclipsed the 1 hour mark, so we appreciate y'all who have stayed with us this whole time. It's nice to be back at it. We did have a week off. I needed a break, enjoy some time with the family. Um, Hope you guys are out there doing the same. This is a holiday week, so hope you all have a good 4th of July. Stay safe, celebrate wisely, and while you're at it, hit that notification bell, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, give us a like and a comment. And we look forward to what we have for you in store for the rest of the summer. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Come back from the fourth with all your fingers, but you can have a good time.
Yeah.
Fireworks are fun. All right. Happy 4th of July, y'all. Have a good
Peace.
one.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.